If it's purely a technology play and we haven't taken into account the end customer, is likely to fail. The point is to actually obsess about our customers and our customers' customers.
For the last couple of months, we've been talking about customer journeys and how they're transforming their organization and where cloud fits as a part of that. What's your take on the evolution of cloud in support of transformation for customers?
When we're looking at sort of our customer's journey, the first thing to do is to actually talk to the customers at all levels regarding where they see themselves in the short term, medium term and long term. And as you know, AWS is very customer obsessed, as is Fujitsu. So we go and talk to the customer and we look at all of the different aspects to do with where they see themselves over that period of time. And it may not just be in the IT section. We're talking about digital transformation, organizational changes, huge number of changes that need to be done so that they can future-proof themselves and take advantage of things like artificial intelligence.
And are there common drivers then between those customers? If they're adopting a cloud strategy, they're looking at AWS as a target. What are the types of reasons or the kind of forcing points which mean that they have to go on this journey and that they should be considering along the way?
There's quite a lot of different reasons why people would actually move to the cloud. Some of them are really very important, such as someone's just sent them a letter saying that their data center is going to basically stop existing, maybe turn into a shopping center or something like that. So there are some times when they actually have drop dead dates and customers say, we actually need to get to the cloud and it has to be on this particular date. There's always cost. So obviously it's a utilization model, it's operational expense as opposed to capital expense. But the other points are that we come across quite often are mergers and acquisitions, are digital transformation, the ability to hit the market running, not to wait for 6 months to actually do it like tomorrow. So we're talking about sort of DevOps. Also very important is obviously security. One of the really important things AWS, and I know Fujitsu does as well, is security is really, really important.
If I wind the clock back a few years, customers were desperate to migrate and there may be dates driving that and it's migration heavy in focus. I think our view of more recent drivers as well is all around transformation, like you say, and transforming now and transforming early rather than waiting perhaps for that migration to complete, especially if there is a compelling business need or a new market to open into and they need new experiences or new applications. Doing something that's going to flip the business and give them a springboard for moving into that next phase. I think the earlier they can start, that better they get. Do you think they need a specific target in mind in terms of cloud platform, or what should their end goal be in an ideal nirvana state?
From a point of view of what their end platform should really be dictated by where they see themselves in, say, 5 years' time. Do they want these data lakes? Do they want to move into artificial intelligence? It may be that they've got something in mind that's completely new, a service that no one's ever heard of before. That would be fantastic. Think of it as building blocks, almost like Lego bricks. You, in conjunction with your partner, can actually build the services that suit you into the future.
I like that. That's good. I like the innovation that you can bring and bringing different services together to make a new output. And we talk about innovation, co-creation at a Fujitsu level certainly regularly. I think sometimes it's a word which is used quite broadly, and I like to think of sometimes customers can change the product or the thing that they are offering to their end customers, and they could innovate in that space. How can I bring different things together? How can I change my supply chain? There are so many different focuses of not just the product that you're taking to market, but how you deliver it, how you create it. And cloud underpinning that can be an essential ingredient to allow that innovation to happen.
If a customer comes to us and says, we've got this great idea for a strategy in the future, but you just don't have the service for it, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? That's the sort of wonderful thing that's why we like to have conversations with the partners and the customers, because that's where the gems come from.
Gazing forward or predicting the future is tricky at times, but on that basis, what can you see coming either around the corner, or if you look further afield, what do you think's next?
I would suggest personally that the strength of, there are still a lot of data centers out there where utilization rates on servers is very low. One of the things that sort of comes back, if I look back in my career, I come from organizations that have had a very strong view on the value of information. I would suggest personally that the strength of innovation, of information is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and people will realize that actually taking that data and actually utilizing it in a proper way, that they can actually glean more information from it and actually advance their organization.
So Chris, there's clearly disruption that happens in industries. The disruption happens maybe more locally in a political landscape or in global events as well. How does cloud enable customers to be more adaptable and responsive in this type of environment?
There will always be crisis, unfortunately, of lots of different sorts coming out from any angle that you couldn't possibly have imagined. The ability to build responses to that, to protect their citizens, roll out various different applications so that they can help anyone who's got any access to the internet whatsoever.
I think that speed and the adaptability is key. The ability to tune the business to a more fluid business environment, then you can control your cost base and match it to the income and the business demand is crucial. And solutions that we've worked on together, like our Fujitsu Springboard for AWS, allowing customers to have a standard landing zone in hours, rather than perhaps the weeks or months it may have taken to build out that standard pattern with the guardrails necessary to keep an enterprise safe.
I agree. With Springboard, it just makes that so much easier, so that you can actually focus on building centers of excellence and security and compliance and the other proof of concepts, proof of values and pilots.
Lovely. I appreciate that. Thanks, Chris. And thank you so much for coming in today. Really, really appreciate the conversation and the insight that you've brought. Thank you.